July 31st, National Raspberry Cake Day. The first of 2 raspberry days. I guess they had so many raspberries left over after day 1, they made a day 2 and came up with something else. And we're not talking the kind of raspberries, we're talking these kind of raspberries. Alrighty? Today we're going to do a raspberry cake. We're going to do individual portions. I love when the lawnmower starts. Individual portions in souffle cups. One, so that way you don't wind up eating the whole cake. Because who doesn't love cake? And of course, when the whole thing is there, I'm sure we all do it. You take that first slice, you eat it, and you go, wow, that was really good. And then you go back and you take that second slice, and then that third slice. So hopefully the souffle cups will help you just have one for dessert. Plus, it's a great dessert to do if you're having people over. It's going to hopefully make about 6 individual portions, and great dessert with some fresh whipped cream. We're going to probably use the spray cream today because I don't have enough heavy cream to make fresh, but that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to cheat. Little bits, but okay. And then you can put some extra berries and stuff, but hopefully this one will be kind of good today. Never made this one before. We might even throw in a little orange zest to our mix just to give it a little bit more brightness to it. But otherwise, here's what you need for today, and let's get started on this one. Oh, you can start preheating your oven to 350. Okay, for our raspberry ricotta cakes today, you need 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of kosher salt, 3 large eggs, 1½ cups of ricotta cheese, a tablespoon of vanilla, a ½ cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter melted, and 1¼ cups of fresh raspberries, divided. Okay, let's get started today. The thing I love about this recipe too, which is what you want to try to do, we had a bunch of extra ricotta cheese from lasagna day left over. So it's a great way to use that up in a different way, you know? So here's my flour. I'm going to add my sugar to that, my salt, stuff sticks all the time, and my baking powder, okay? And we're just going to whisk those together. Again, I guess I didn't learn from the other day to use a bigger bowl, but that's okay. It's because I lay out all my ingredients and I don't think, oh, okay, you're going to need a bigger bowl to mix it all together. But anyway, the job gets done. It's all going to get, this is all going to get mixed together anyway. Okay, but you do it in steps because you're going to add this slowly to our wet ingredients. Okay, so there's your dry. Just put that on the side. Let's get our wet stuff ready. Crash, crash. I'm using my big pitcher bowl here because I want to be able to pour this into my cup, so this will make it a little easier. You're going to add now to this bowl your ricotta cheese, your 3 eggs, and your vanilla. Okay? And we're just going to whisk that together until it's all incorporated and smooth, okay? Now some of you might be asking, how come he's not using his big KitchenAid mixer for this? Because according to this recipe, you have to fold in your dry stuff, okay? So I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, and you want to just fold it in until you don't see any clumpy flour patches, but you don't want to overbeat this, okay? So we're just going to fold in all our dry ingredients until we have our batter here. Alrighty? I guess that makes a fluffier cake. I don't know. Okay? Okay, so you just want to make sure you take the time to really fold that flour in, because you don't want to have lumps of flour, you know, unmixed flour, and then when you bake your cake, when you're eating your cake, all of a sudden you take a bite and there's this big clump of dry flour. You don't want to do that. Then you're going to add your melted butter right to this and do the same thing. Just fold it in until it's just mixed in, okay? This is going to help loosen this batter up so it's more of a batter and not so stiff, okay? And once you have that butter mixed in, you're going to add a bunch of, almost all of it. You want to kind of save some though. Let's see, 3, 6, and 4. It depends on how many raspberries you want to put on the top. Maybe 3 or 4 on the top of each of these. So I just want to count out some. 4. Separate them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Just so we can decorate the tops of our cake, because we're going to mix these raspberries into the batter. But you want to leave some for the top, so you can stick some on the top to decorate the top right before you're going to bake them. Okay. But these are going to go right into our batter. You want to try not to break them up as much as possible. Just again, fold it in so you have some raspberries throughout. They're going to break up a little bit. There's really nothing you can do about that, but just try to keep them as whole as possible, just so you have a nice bite of raspberry when you're eating your cake, okay? Okay, so I gave it a good coating of non-stick spray, baking spray, and now I'm just going to try to evenly distribute my batter into each of these cups, okay? Try to make them as even as possible if you can. Okay, so there they all are, ready to go into the oven. Okay, you're going to put them in about 35-45 minutes. You just like a regular cake. If the toothpick comes out clean, you're good to go. But baking, as always, keep your eye on it. And I'm anxious to see how this one turns out. Okay, they look really good so far. Let's hope they taste really good. See you in about an hour. Ready. So there's one of them anyway. They came out really easy out of the mold just using the baking spray, the non-stick spray. You could also grease your souffle cups with butter as well. But we let this one cool down so it's nice and cool now. Put a nice generous whipped cream on the side there. Give this one a taste today. I've been waiting to taste this one. Had to have some dinner first. Alright, so get a nice big dollop of whipped cream with that. And let's give that a taste. Oh, that's good. See all the raspberries inside? Oh my god, it's really good. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It kind of tastes almost cornbreadish, but there's no corn meal in this. But the cake part, that's what it reminds me of. Like a sweet cornbread. But I mean, the raspberries are all in this thing. I mean, they are just pouring out of this thing. Inside the cake part. Delicious. Absolutely delicious for summer. Great use of fresh raspberries. Usually these days fall so out of season that we got to use frozen or, God forbid, canned. But oh my god, this is really, really nice. It was probably even better when it came out of the oven like 10 minutes out and was still hot and fresh, but even chilled, not in the fridge, just on the countertop back to room temperature. It's fantastic. Look, I can't stop eating it. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow for Raspberry Day number 2. 2 in a row for raspberries. See you then.